Hey guys, once again, Cobra-Source.com, your complete online martial arts, entertainment, and lifestyle magazine. I'm Marilu, and guess who I have here today? Dion Paminto. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good. So, at the beginning of this month, you had a fight.
I did.
And we all know how that went. You won. How does it feel?
It feels great. I mean,
Great.
It was one of those situations where there's so much pressure I put on myself, and I just had so much going on in this fight. So when I finally won, it was just such a big lifted weight off my shoulder. It was outstanding.
And so he was a Jiu-Jitsu trainer.
A very good one.
So I bet you went down to the ground a couple times.
Absolutely. It was the first couple seconds. You know, I had an idea. I told my cornerman back in the locker room, this is what I'm going to do. It was a split-second decision. Just had it in my mind what I wanted to do, and I did it and found myself on the ground in the snap of a finger. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you know, this is what I thought I was going to do, and this is what happened. So you just got to have the fight continue.
And so before you go into a fight, you have a strategy. You plan it out.
I did.
And with this one, I'm assuming you did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you follow through with everything you had planned?
In the first round, yes. In the second round, I saw some things that, you know, were open, and as a kickboxer, you want to take advantage of those situations. And I got a little bit too anticipated of what I wanted to do, and once again, he kind of ducked a kick of mine, which skipped right over his head. And that was the shot I was looking for, is that shot. And he took me down to the ground, which I was in a better position on the ground to do any kind of grappling, and he secured a leg lock, which it didn't have anything on it. It wasn't hurting in any position. He was just squeezing my leg. And I thought at some point they would stand the fight back up because there was no action. It was just him holding my leg. And so I didn't really panic. There was no danger of me submitting. So I just kind of laid there and just watched him hold my leg for the whole round.
Let him tire out.
It was ridiculous. And as you know, I wasn't trying to disrespect to him, but it was just kind of like, you don't have it. So either improve your position or stand us back up. And neither of that happened. So the second round obviously went to him for that. So that's kind of what happened.
So what did you have to do to train as far as that goes for Jiu-Jitsu?
To train for Brandon Alexander, I really didn't worry about my kickboxing was always going to be there. It's in the blood. It's in my DNA. I approached Urijah and kind of had his perspective on what I should do or what I should be looking for, and he just said, "Quit kickboxing, start Jiu-Jitsu. Your kickboxing is going nowhere. Just do Jiu-Jitsu." And so, I was picking some of the gentlemen out of our gym just to kind of roll around, just to pick out some real basic strategies. I've done Jiu-Jitsu in the past, back in '93 and '94. Jiu-Jitsu is not foreign to me. I know what I'm doing. I'm just not as good as those guys that are on a certain level. And those guys that work at Ultimate Fitness are just on a complete different level. Now, when I was doing Jiu-Jitsu, I was fine. I was good at what I did. But compared to where it is today, 93, 94 seems like an eternity before. Now the Jiu-Jitsu today is it's so ridiculous. The technique is such on a high level, I can't really understand it. And so by going into this fight, I thought, wow, what am I going to do with this guy? He's obviously learned in the past 5 years all the new stuff, because Jiu-Jitsu is always evolving. It's always changing for the fight strategy of today in MMA. So I was just practicing some real basic defenses, 2 arm locks and those kind of things. And as it turned out, I really didn't even need to use any of that stuff. It was just kind of like, I was kind of surprised, with the leg lock or the north and south choke that he put on in the first round. But in any way, my training even back then for my Jiu-Jitsu is don't panic. If you panic and try to struggle out of something, you might sink that choke a little harder. So I just kind of relaxed, be patient, and let things kind of evolve. But for training in this fight, it was just picking certain individuals that kind of fit his stature and his strengths, and just kind of going from there and just kind of freestyle roll and kind of see what they do. And my whole thing was defense, 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 defense.
Now, like you said earlier, Team Alpha, you guys have a variety of trainers as well as competitors. Mm-hmm. So that must have helped out to have the best.
Oh, it's endless. The amount of people that they have at that gym, it's like the new generation that are coming up. Those guys are unbelievable. You know, the veteran guys are always going to be willing to help, and they're there as to really just encourage you to take that extra step and never look back and keep trying harder. And that keeps our drive, just keeps going and keeps going. It's just, everything's always so positive there. They make you really feel as if it doesn't matter who you're facing, you can win the fight, no matter what, at any level.
That's great. And as my understanding goes, this was your first MMA fight.
Yes.
So did you have to train differently for this than other fights you've had that weren't considered MMA? As far as when you
I didn't
kickbox?
see there was any difference in training other than, you know, you're doing a lot more rolling, you know, your kickboxing, your takedowns and those kind of things as far as like the MMA aspect of it. But the training itself, I kind of stuck to the same training plan as I always have, which is, you know, sparring. I live in the ring. I spar every single day, no matter what. I don't care who I'm sparring. I'm in there and I'm fighting somebody, because that's the reality of a fight. I mean, we can roll all day long, but what if it never goes to the ground? Then you just wasted all that time, but you're always prepared for it. But, you know, it was just one of those things where if it's not broke, don't fix it. So once I started to get involved in the training, I was doing my outside running work, you know, and I was doing, you know, my sparring every day, my kickboxing, my jiu-jitsu. I mean, it was just, I kept everything exactly the same. I didn't really change anything. I just picked up the pace.
And what made you want to do MMA as far as, you know, obviously you were training your Faber or whatever, but what made you want to go in and fight and make a name for yourself in MMA?
I really wasn't trying to make a name for myself in MMA. It was more like I've done martial arts since 1993. The UFC came out roughly around the same time, and so you have this idea of, I want to try that, you know, it's fun. And so you're playing with your friends and you're submitting your friends and you're having fun, but then you go, I want to try this for real. I want to it's like a challenge to yourself. You want to go out there and go, can I really do this? And over the years, it just was dragging on me, and I had to do it. I mean, everybody I think that gets involved in the martial arts eventually wants to try a cage fight just to see if they can do it. I mean, to me, it was more of a challenge to myself, and it kind of evolved into people's expectations. They wanted to see that. They're like, I wonder what would happen if you got in a cage fight. You would do so well. And it just built and built and built to the point where you just decide, you know what, I'm gonna do it.
So what's next for you after this win? Are you gonna continue fighting, or
Absolutely.
you did it for yourself? And
yeah, well, I did it for myself. I did it for a lot of the fighters that are at my gym, you know, that they kind of wanted to see that too. A lot of the students, but it was one of those things where I wanted to do it for myself because I've always wanted to. I've had a lot, you know, expectations upon myself to see, can I really do it? And of course I knew I could. It was just a matter of just stepping out there, out of your comfort bubble, and just do it. And so I did, and it was fun. Now, after the win, I had all sorts of offers. Reno, just different venues of going out there and fighting. And I said March is a real busy month for me. It's my birthday in March, and so every weekend I've got something going on. And so the training I couldn't really commit to, so I'm not going to take a fight if I can't commit to training. I know what it takes to get ready for a fight. It's tough. You know, it's day in and day out at the gym for hours and hours and hours, and you just live at the gym. You know, it sucks for the wife because, you know, she wants you home most of the time, but, you know, you just got to, it's one of those, decide what you want to do. Do you want to be a fighter? Well, this is what it requires to be a fighter. Or you just want to train and stay in shape and take these small fights as they come along. Both is possible. But I decided not to take any fights during March. So after March, then yeah, I'm definitely, I definitely tasted the blood. I love the
ready
win.
for another one. You heard it from old school Dion. We're gonna check back with him after March, see what he has going on. This is Mary Lou, Cobra-Source MMA.
Cobra-Source.